Welcome back to the irreverent and pokey? What's with the pointer fingers here? Oh, finger guns. Yes. Finger bang bang into your heart.
Yep.
Welcome back to Disinformed After Dark Disinformants. I am Shane.
I am John. There we go.
We're on a 7-second delay, apparently.
And I am above that, being Michael.
He was up above it. Now he's down in it. We are happy.
I'm so high.
You'd have to be here. We're happy to have you back here for our weekly YouTube video companion podcast to our weekly podcast, the Disinformed Podcast, that you can find everywhere disreputable podcasts are circulated, including the places that give you John's eyebrows.
I should never have been able to find out how to do this, because now it's just entirely tempting just to do the whole episode like this.
This is how Johnny got his groove back, apparently. But
Yeah.
So if you look down
fuck
below, there's going to be a link.
Oh,
Well, you just lost the game. Congratulations. You can find a link tree down below where you will be able to find all the things that we do, every single one of them. So if you want to, you can track us down. You can find us. Our
Please.
podcast escapes every Monday from any disreputable podcast provider app, so you can snag it just then. And of course, you can pop in with us here every single Friday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, which is presumably when you're finding us now. So thanks for coming back in. But of course, you can watch this whenever you want. Don't let us encumber you. Don't let us tell you how to live your life.
You're a person.
You make decisions. You have ideas and thoughts. But
Wow, what are you, Michael?
You should leave them in the comments.
if you have those thoughts,
Karen.
and you enjoy, if your thoughts are telling you that this is fun and you're enjoying this, I don't know why. But on the off chance that you do, you can do something that Michael will instruct you in right now.
You can leave a comment, smash that like button, ring that bell, and then I don't know the catchy term for subscribe, but subscribe. Yeah, finger guns.
It's called simping.
But that involves giving money, I thought. I mean, I guess do we have like a Patreon? No, we don't. So you can't simp. You can't simp for us.
So
no, you can't.
You know that phrase that they give you when they want to, release you from the mental asylum? I know Michael will be familiar with this one, where it's, you're no longer a danger to yourself or others. I'm a danger to both right now. So just be glad you're in another room and not here with me at the moment. But what we typically do here on this show, before the interrupting cows start to chime in, is we will go into one of Chuck Klosterman's glorious hypotheticals whilst we wait for our files to upload and we all lose our tiny minds. So get all your nonsense accumulated and brace for impact, because you're going to have a chance to spew it forth on everyone's face, neck, and chest in mere moments.
Ooh.
Okay.
This week's intriguing installment will surround the honesty room.
I'm scared already.
You've never been honest in your life, I know.
If you want an honesty, that's all you had to say.
Thank you so much.
It's not very well written because I can't write well. My teacher says I can move up to second grade if I try hard, but
You know
I
what?
don't do
All right,
that.
that's cool. Anyway,
No.
moving on.
Actually, no, Michael had a point that I was going to make, was that when he graduated kindergarten, he was so excited that he cut himself shaving 3 times. It was just a really momentous occasion for him.
I couldn't keep my hand steady.
And then when he finally got into high school, he started competing in academic decathlon, and he managed to get an actual, heaven sent, varsity letter. He just had to take it to his mom to have her read it to him.
That was a good setup. I like it.
That was a good
So,
Uh,
someone builds a paranormal honesty room. Within the walls of this room, Michael's still an idiot, and it is impossible for anyone to tell lies or to avoid answering whatever question they are asked.
Oh.
This same inventor also creates a memory loss drug that is released into the air inside the honesty room as an airborne mist. What this means is that people who enter the honesty room will not remember what they said, what questions they were asked, or even that they were ever there. The only antidote to the memory loss drug is a pill, and you have this pill. So, in essence, you have access to a room where every guest who enters will tell you the absolute truth about anything, and then immediately forget what they were asked and what they said. But you will retain everything that you learn.
There we go. I was wondering where that was headed.
You are inside the honesty room with your parents. What do you ask them?
Now, there are a lot of things that I would rather not air. However, I will say that there are some other life questions that I would have for my dad before he met my mom that are very much so like not family secrets, but they're not family secrets.
All right.
So I would start there. And then, okay, because as you know very intimately, Shane, my mom is a saint. I would ask her, with this veil of honesty, the most evil thing that she's ever done. I want to know what Superman or Superwoman does in her off time.
Well,
I want to know, like, when no one's looking, like, tell me that you tripped at least one small child on purpose. Like something, you know?
Well, I mean, she is a saint. She spends a lot of time on her knees, but
Can't argue. This is the honesty room.
So yeah, you just want to find out what the dark and seedy crevices of your mom's personality are.
I think both mom and dad. Like, I think I want to know, like, with my dad, like, because I feel like the reason that there's like some stuff that are like family secret-y are usually because they're like a little like seedy or like, or better, things that embarrass him to the point where he never wants to mention them again.
Okay.
And you know, my father's a very, you know, he keeps a lot of, he plays his cards pretty close. So I would like to know those things.
Yeah.
And then also like give him the set, or he wouldn't know, but like he can tell me those things, and then he doesn't remember that he ever told me those things. I'll never hold him over his head. You know, I'll just know that information going forward. So yeah, I think that's what I would get at.
I gotcha. I mean, you could also ask him, like, why didn't you stop at 7?
And
why was
how?
I even born?
Like, well, you see, it was a fishing trip, and well, we Catholics don't believe in condoms, and well, one thing or another, I should have aborted you.
Your mom
But again, I'm a Catholic.
Since we've already been demonetized, your mom knows how to handle St. Peter, John.
Amen.
Oh, Mr. Michael, I can't wait to hear what you're going to ask.
Honestly, like, they've already kind of told me, like,
who are you?
Hello?
Yeah, I would actually walk in and be like, this sentence is a lie, just to see what would happen, because I'm that kind of person. I guess inviting my parents, but like I already know they did plenty of drugs in high school and college. My dad failed out of college. They worked a lot. They partied a lot. They didn't really do anything after I was born because they kind of just became boring. Yeah. I mean, the funniest story is that my grandfather, until he died, thought my father was into photography a lot because he had a lot of film canisters. Even though my dad told him straight to his face, no, that's full of pot, still thought he did photography. So I don't really have anything to chat with them. I guess,
you
like,
smoked to the point where you just see pictures floating in the air.
I think I've told the story where I've only smoked pot like once.
And it was out of a butthole?
No, I got caught at the college I was doing.
I like when I get shamed.
You were doing the college?
Yeah, I was doing
I thought the college did you.
Oh, it did me plenty of times. This is the one time where I tried doing the college and it got me back harder than ever.
Shane just has such a beautiful face when he doesn't want to think something is funny, but he can't fight the baser instincts in his head. Anyway, yeah. So, what was the time that you did the college and you did the weed?
I haven't told this story. Okay, all right.
No,
He was
that
with Bill
was your
Clinton,
time.
and
So it was 92. It was a great year. So
back up a Volkswagen.
I had an intern that I really liked, and so I invited her to the. Anyway, so honestly, it's a pretty mediocre story. So I'm hanging out with a bunch of my friends from my college. I was in the honors dorm because I was a nerd. They all smoked pot. I usually didn't join them. The one time I did, they were like, "Oh yeah, join." I'm like, "Sure, why not? I don't have anything else better to do." So we go to the top of a parking garage, not very conspicuous or anything like that. So we sit off to the side. They all light up. I'm chilling. I'm having a good time. I don't take anything. And they're like, "Hey, do you want a hit?" I'm like, "Sure." So I take a hit. As I'm coughing and choking because it was a bong that they bought earlier that day, I look, I see my friends getting up and walking away, and I turn around and look. There's a cop coming at us on a Segway. I'm like, cool. All right. So we're walking to the stairs. Another cop comes up there. We're caught. I had to write a 5-page story or 5-page essay on why marijuana is bad for you. Hardest paper I ever wrote as an undergrad.
Shane,
that was my story in 2 minutes.
Okay. Hey, welcome back to Disinformed After Dark.
You asked for the story, so I gave you the story.
I didn't ask for the story.
Somebody asked for the
ask
story.
for that.
The Punicorn, yes. My favorite of all horned creatures, or horny creatures.
Well, Michael, I'm sorry.
TLDR.
No, we already got it.
No, not the story. Not the story. Answering the question, because the story isn't important. TLDR, I don't really think I would ask any of my parents any questions because, like, if I really want to know,
room,
just chat.
Silence.
How many do you have?
I would probably ask if I was an accident, but that would probably be my only question.
Okay. a very Prometheus question to ask. Yeah.
It's the only question that has tickled my mind, but I haven't really cared enough to ask because
as long as it's not an Oedipal question, I think we'll be able to get through this just fine, gentlemen.
Yeah.
But, hey, Mom, have you ever wanted to copulate with me? Oh wait, no, it's the other way around. I'm just gonna stare at the camera and smile.
I can't quit this hard enough. Birds aren't real, and neither is this topic.
This bird on the screen is about as real as other birds. Shane, please take this home.
You've single-handedly managed to kill this podcast, and I didn't believe it could actually happen, but you've done it.
I brought this podcast into this world, and I can take it out.
It's like, Wilbur the Roof Rat. Like, you saved it, and then you killed it in one fell swoop. I would say of anything, because both of my folks, one, my mother is very transparent. She's a ghost. And
a lovely woman, too, though.
Yes, I have never actually had to, worry about her telling me her thoughts. They come without you actually prompting them.
It is known, yeah.
Yes. My father also occasionally will let loose with things that I didn't care to know at all, but, is unnerved by other things. So I think probably the one question I would ask my dad is where the bodies are buried. And whether or not there's any chance that I can be connected to them, just so that I can have a defense ready and enough accumulated bail so that when Making a Murder season 5 happens and they drag me in to interrogate me, I know what the story is.
I can dig it.
Yeah, that's mostly what I'm looking for.
Cool.
Yeah, I feel like you and I have a little crossover then too, because I feel like the deep dark secret thing is very much at play, like deep dark secret or embarrassing. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I love my father to death. So in case he's watching, and my body might be next, but no, my dad is a marvelous human being. I say that more of that. We all get a little mad sometimes,
but I also think what you're trying to say is the families need closure. So if you could just let so you could let them know.
Yes.
Then maybe those families, the victims' families, could then start to heal.
No, what I'm really asking is, I don't know why he keeps insisting that I need to send like floral arrangements in pressed glass to the same house in Sweden every year on the same day. Like, I don't get it. I still am
Also,
trying to whittle down as to why I need to do this, but he just keeps insisting.
If we could really also, if there's one final thing inside of the honesty room that we could really try and drive home for your dad, I almost said his name, it would be, bones are not currency, no matter how often you try to pay with human remains. It's not accepted.
Yes.
It's cash, card, chip, but not like a chip of human's bone. Like, you can't pay. Skeletons are not money.
No, skeletons are not money. Neither is hair.
No.
Cannot use either.
And
Fair
it's
point.
not an acceptable Christmas gift either. So.
No. So for all of you that don't have enough breadcrumbs to get home, I'm sorry. I can see why our numbers are deteriorating rapidly week by week for this glorious installment, and eventually we'll just drive it into the ground like all the rest of the things my father's contributed in his farming years.
I love it.
Well, gentlemen,
well.
I don't think there's much else to say here, unless you want some honesty.
Yeah. Listen to Dear David if you haven't already, the most recent episode that just aired. Birds aren't real. We're going to be talking about fun things on every episode ever, so just make sure you listen to them.
I guarantee they'll be as riveting as this one was.
Oh, for sure.
If not more.
Absolutely. The bones are their money.
Yes. And worms are their food.
Yeah, the worms are their dollars.
They pull your hair up, but not out.
Not out. Yeah, not out.
Wait, your name is John as well? No, that's why I'm so confused.
I love making Michael just go comatose. All right, take this away, Shane.
I believe that is going to wrap this thing up like a body inside of a carpet that you're about to inter into the earth so the feds can't catch you. And so, for Disinformed After Dark, I am Kenton Eldorado.
I am Timothy Lone Cactus.
Why? Why would you add those? I have always been, and I will continue to be, Robert Greer.
Peter Greer.
I said it before you could do that.
I don't even care enough to dignify you being a part of this episode.
Woo!
And,
You in trouble?
I can tell by the time at the tone here that it happens to be